Okay, hello again everyone. Lar from Complete Test Success here, and this live stream is to do an essay correction. So on Sunday I posted a task 2 essay and a few students responded with answers to that task 2 question. So we're going to take at random, choose one of those students, take their answer, and then I'm going to do a full correction. So look at their task achievement, coherence and cohesion, their vocab, their grammar, tell them what scores they would get, explain why they would get those scores, explain what they need to do to improve those scores. So that's basically what we're doing here today. If you have any questions, be it about the feedback I'm giving, why I'm giving the scores I'm giving, if anything doesn't make sense, whether you're here live or you are watching the recording, please just ask the questions and I'm happy to explain those things to you. So that's pretty much what we're doing. Let me share this little app that I have, and these are the students. You can see here on the left, these are the students who entered the competition. So let's just find our winner. Okay, congratulations, Herbert. Well done. So give me a moment to find Herbert's answer. Okay. So I have the answer. Just need to share that with you and then we can get started. Hi, Akima. Hello to you. Good morning. Good to see you here. Okay, and that's our essay. Oh, we have another bunch of people here. Hi, Irene from Nigeria. Good to see you here, Irene. Nelly, good morning to you. Good to see you here. Thanks. Hey, Muzam. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, so let's get started on this essay. What I'll do is after each paragraph, I'll pop back in and out to see if anybody has any questions. So if you do, let me know. Panthea, good to see you here. Zachariah, hello to you, sir. All right, so let's jump in. So first thing I'm interested in is the number of words. So too long is a problem, too short is a problem. Too short is you're not going to get a good score. Too long, the issue is that you're going to run out of time because you only have 40 minutes. 313 words, that's okay. In general, I say aim for about 280. Sometimes it'll be a bit shorter, sometimes a bit longer, but 313 isn't excessively long. So that's fine. And let me just tidy this up so we can see it more easily. All right. So the question was this: because of growing populations, more homes are needed in many countries. So the first sentence should paraphrase that for me. Owing to the fact that the number of humans is increasing, faster than the number of available houses. So we don't need the. So I need to delete that. The available houses in many nations. So what we're seeing here straight away is an issue with plurals and articles. So that's something that, Herbert, you will need to address. Plurals and articles straight away. It's becoming evident that that's a grammar area of difficulty for you. It is needful for more residential homes are built. So you're making this too complicated. So let's just do this. More residential homes, we don't say that, we just say more homes. More homes are needed. Let's just say that. So you don't make it too complicated for yourself. The more complicated you make it, the more likely you are to make mistakes. So try to keep it simple. So, you're using like residential homes. You probably think that sounds good and will get you a high vocab score, but you would never find those two words together in the English language. So it's not good to use, language that doesn't have the meaning you want it to mean. Okay. So that was the first thing. The next thing then is the response to the question. So the question is, do you think it is better to build houses in existing cities or build new towns in the countryside? Okay, so in the response to this, what I'm looking for is that Herbert is going to either say they should do it in cities and then give two reasons why he thinks that, or say it should be built, they should do it in the countryside and two reasons why you think that. So go with either way. I think it should be countryside and two reasons why. I think it should be city and two reasons why. Either one of those will be acceptable. So let's see what Herbert has done here. In fact, I strongly believe that it is much better to construct newly high-rise buildings and blocks of flats in cities rather than transforming rural areas to township because, okay, so this is way too long. And again, you're making things too complicated, so you're making vocab mistakes. So all you wanted to say is, I think it should be in the city. So it's not the type of buildings. You haven't been asked what types of buildings. It's just, should it be inside or outside cities? That's basically all. That's basically your opinion. So you're not going to change the type of buildings. You're just going to change. You're just going to respond and say what they want you to say. They want you to say towns or cities. So I would just change this. I'll delete that. In fact, that's not necessary. I strongly believe that it is much better to construct new houses in cities because, all right, keep it simple. Don't make things too complicated. You'll just make more mistakes. Okay, because city does not only serve as a hub for employment, but also houses, big markets, and basic infrastructure are readily available. Okay, because, so it's grammar mistakes here, plurals again. Cities do not only serve as a hub for employment, okay, so you can find work, but also houses, big markets, and basic infrastructure readily available. So is this one idea or two ideas? Houses, big markets, and basic infrastructure. Now, IELTS doesn't have a problem with you writing an idea that has the word and in the middle. But I always caution my students about doing this. It's because if you're going to put the word and in the middle of your main idea, does that mean that it's one main idea or two main idea? Two main ideas? Why do you need the word and? So I'll always steer my students away from doing that. And basic infrastructure is readily available. Okay, so the ideas are fine. The main ideas are appropriate. So that's good. But I don't know if this is one or two ideas. And what I would worry is when you try to develop it, will it be difficult to develop because it's two ideas? Would it be easier if you had just said basic infrastructure? Or would it have been easier if you had just said big markets? So that's my concern is, will it be difficult to develop later on? However, for now, in relation to task achievement and coherence and cohesion, this is a good paragraph. The issues so far lie with the vocab and grammar mistakes, and mainly it's making things too complicated. So it seems like Herbert is writing an answer with the priority being, let's show the examiner how good my vocab is, and then using vocab you can't actually use properly, using vocab that you would understand, you probably know what it means, but you're not using it accurately, and that's having the opposite effect. So far It's the overcomplication of communication, making mistakes in vocab and grammar. Those are the main issues. The content so far is good. Hakima, good to see you too. And Mohammed, hello to you, sir. Morning, back. Papa from Bangladesh, welcome. Fortunately, you got me today, Stephanie. Good morning. Hey, Memory. And Stephanie King Abel, hello to you. Okay, so far you can see that Herbert does understand what is required in relation to content and structure, but it's just language mistakes so far. All right, so let's have a look at the next paragraph, and the next paragraph should be development of that first idea that we looked at. So employment. So I'm expecting this paragraph to be about employment. Okay, so there seems to be just a paragraphing issue. I say always leave a line between each paragraph, but I think the issue here is not that Herbert doesn't know it. I think the issue here is that it was written on Facebook, so just those mistakes. See as well, Herbert, there are a few instances where you're not leaving a space after your full stops and commas. Every full stop, every comma, you need to do it. You're doing it correctly in most, just not all. So that would be something that you could look out for when you're proofreading. Make sure you don't repeat that mistake. Okay, so this paragraph should be about employment. Firstly, in every nation around the globe, cosmopolitan settings have the greatest job opportunities. This is because most of the industries are situated in these locations. Okay. Take, for example, in Nigeria, the majority of the manufacturing companies, so again, plurals, and banking sectors, another plural mistake, are mainly, that's a spelling mistake, found in the city of Lagos. Secondly, comma, life in the city is more convenient due to the availability of basic amenities like electricity, pipe-borne water, no, pipe-borne water, running water. Running water is water that comes to your house in a pipe. Running water, modern schools, parks and gardens, and tertiary hospitals. Is tertiary education, not tertiary hospitals. As a result of this, there is a rise in rural-urban migration, which necessitated the tremendous rise in population of people settling in the city around the globe. This essay is supposed to be about building houses. This essay is supposed to be about building houses. There's nothing about houses here. And there's another issue. In this part, you're talking about your main idea, which is employment. But you're supposed to have a full paragraph about your main idea. So only half the paragraph is about the main idea, and none of the paragraph is about building houses. So it seems like, and this happens a lot, where students will look at the question when they're planning their main ideas, but then when they're talking about their main ideas, they forget what the question was about. So they look at the question and go, okay, why should there be houses? Okay, because there's more employment in the cities. Okay, and now suddenly you're talking about employment in cities, but no, you're talking about employment in cities because that is the idea you're using to support why there should be houses built in the cities rather than in the countryside. So houses should be built in the cities because there is more employment there. And then you develop that idea. But you've gone off topic completely. You forgot what the question was about here, Herbert. So that basically that whole paragraph, you've done nothing to improve your task achievement score. So it has to be much more focused. I don't know if you wrote a plan for this essay or not, but what I can tell you is that either you didn't write a plan and you need to start writing a plan, or you did write a plan but you didn't analyze your ideas carefully enough. So you wrote down your ideas, but you didn't ask yourself, am I writing about the question? Is my development relevant to the question? And if it's not, well then, you're making up the question. You've changed the question. You're not talking about what you need to talk about. It's not gonna get you a high score. Hi, Lutful. I'm doing very well, thank you. Okay. Atik, hi there. Afternoon from Pakistan. Lovely. The screen is not clear. Okay, so that's either my internet or your internet, Stephanie. Is anybody else having problems with the clarity? Stephanie, I'm going to guess it's yours because I normally get a little warning on my screen when my internet connection is poor. So it might be yours. I don't know. Sir, kindly check my essay and give me a band score in the comment so that I will be able to assess in which band score currently I'm failing. Yep, so for one-on-one support, I have an essay correction service. So let me share that with you here. I think. Okay, so you'll find that there. So if you want individual essays corrected, you'll find that service here. And I also have full courses. So if you want to send me your essay, I'll correct your essay just like you're seeing here with Herbert's. So I'll correct it, send you a video, send you a document with all the corrections on it. But I also have a writing course. So if you want a more, hands-on, one-on-one, like show you what to do, check your work consistently, tell you when you're ready, have meetings with you to explain what your problems are and how to develop an appropriate study plan, that's a separate service. So I have my essay correction service like that, and I also have my courses. So I'll share that with you as well here. Just called it IELTS courses for now. You'll find that here. So it just depends on how much support, how much one-on-one support you need. But those options are there for you, Atik. Hi, Leo. How are you doing today? Herbert, good to see you here. Okay, great. Herbert, answer this question for me. Did you write a plan for this essay? So did you write a plan and then write the essay, or did you just start writing the essay and then, think of the ideas as you were writing? I'd like to know that. Saeed, connection's okay? Lovely, thank you. Thanks for the feedback. Stephanie, you're very welcome. I'm not even sure what you're thanking me for, but you are welcome. Okay, so that's Herbert's first body paragraph. Now, it seems like Herbert has already gone on to discuss basic infrastructure in that first body paragraph. So it seems like electricity, running water, schools, parks, gardens, hospitals, all that stuff has already been discussed here. So I'm not sure what this next paragraph is going to be about. Okay, another major reason why more buildings in the city should be favored is because ultra-modern markets are situated in the metropolitan area. Okay. By being densely populated and having a good road network and seaports, it has automatically become a magnetic force for investors as well as for buying and selling commodities to all and sundry. I just delete that bit. Okay, so far, at least here, you said more buildings. You nearly got there. If you'd said building more homes or building more houses, this would be fine. But buildings is too vague. So this could be, are you talking about more markets? Are you talking about, more business? Yeah, so it's not relevant enough. Okay, a good example is the Alaba International and Onitsha main market. In which both states are heavily populated due to their famousness. I'm not sure what. I'm confused about this. Both. You're talking about markets. You're talking about markets, and now you're talking about states. So I don't know. This is confusing. So you're talking about markets, then you change to talk about states. This isn't very clear. So this would be a problem with your referencing. It seems like you've changed topic in the middle of the sentence. So that's not appropriate. Okay. So far, what we've seen here is the task achievement score. All of the task achievement score has come from the introduction. So the introduction said, I think they should build in the city because main idea A, main idea B. And both of those ideas were appropriate because they're relevant to the question and they're specific ideas. So that is enough to actually get a task achievement score of band 6. The question has been answered directly. So that's good. But in those next two paragraphs, nothing there has been done to help improve that task achievement score. Coherence and cohesion. It's also going to be a band 6. It's relatively easy to follow what you've said so far, except for that last sentence that we looked at. Really, we haven't looked at the conclusion, so there might be a big issue in the conclusion whereby your coherence and cohesion score, your vocab or your grammar scores might come down. I doubt it, but that could be a possibility. But so far, that's kind of where we are. That's where we are so far. I had 3 ideas, but had to merge idea 1 and 2. Okay. So that's what I was talking about at the start. So that's really a good telltale. If you think you have one main idea and the word and is in the middle, then it's not one idea. And as well, Herbert, if you have 3 main ideas, you'll need to write 3 body paragraphs, 1 for each one, because you want to give equal amount of attention to each of your main ideas. Deep says that he was unlucky today. Okay. I wouldn't say that. I'd say Herbert was lucky, not you were unlucky, but that's me. Herbert, I mean to say that both states are heavily populated because the markets are highly patronized. Okay. I can just see from this sentence, you're much better able to communicate than what you're doing in this essay. And it's like I said, you're trying to get a high vocab and grammar score, or at least a high vocab score. And, you're essentially bringing your score down as a consequence. Okay. And then patronized, you've spelled that incorrectly. Okay, so let's look at the final paragraph here. In conclusion, I completely affirm that many, let's just say agree, keep it simple, agree that many more houses are necessary in the major cities around the globe, since everyone is living in the villages for greener pastures as well as for a more comfortable life in city. Okay, so the way you've written it, it sounds like the question was, should more houses be built in the cities? And you're saying, yes, there should be more houses built in the cities. But that's not what the question asked. The question asked, should more houses be built in the cities or in the countryside? So you haven't made that clear in your conclusion. So that's not a, this doesn't really communicate what the essay was about. More so to eke out a life. No. So what you want to do is you want to repeat the main ideas. So basically, the main ideas you had in your answer, that's what you want to put in your, where are we? Here. These main ideas you want to put in your conclusion. So you don't want new information. You don't want to like kind of show what you feel in general. You want to say, I think that new houses should be built in cities rather than in the countryside because, and then you repeat those three main ideas. So your conclusion isn't effective either, unfortunately, Herbert. But I do believe you've learned a lot from this. Okay, so task achievement, and really your introduction saved you from a lower score. Your introduction saved you from a lower score. Task achievement band 6, coherence and cohesion band 6, vocab band 6. Vocab band 6, especially because you're just using words you don't know how to use. I can always understand what you're trying to say, but there a lot of inaccuracies in that answer. So vocab band 6, I think you'll improve to a certain degree by just focusing on clear communication. So like when you have this sentence you just wrote, I mean to say that both states are heavily populated because the markets are highly patronized. It's very clear. I mean, a spelling mistake with patronized, but that's very clear. I mean, if you wrote as clearly as this in your essay, you would get a higher score. So you have the ability, but your approach to writing essays, and it's not just you, it's, I think, honestly, most IELTS students, they're trying to get a high vocab score, so they're trying to use vocab they think sounds good. That means they're making more mistakes. That means their score is lower than they are capable of. Very, very common issue. But for now, that essay is a band 6 for vocab. Grammar's also a band 6. Let me just have a quick look here again in relation to the range. Okay, so you do have a range of complex sentences and compound sentences. It seems like when you try to go with overly long sentences like you did in the outline, when you try to write, complex sentences with 3+ clauses, that it kind of falls apart for you. So avoid doing that for now. Your grammar score is band 6, and I would say just, don't write sentences that are beyond 3 clauses, because you can write 3-clause sentences with a good level of accuracy. Longer than that tends not to be clear. And your big issue then is plurals. Lots and lots of plural mistakes, the most common mistake that you're making. So that would be the area of grammar for you to focus on first. Okay, so that's 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 in every area. Overall band 6 for that essay. So I think, and Herbert, while you're still here, can you tell me, did you plan that essay or not? I'm still interested to know. I think, like I explained what you would do differently in either case, but I'm interested to know. I would guess you didn't. My guess would be that you didn't write a plan for that. Hey, Kring. Nice try, Mr. Herbert, dear sir. How long will it take Mr. Herbert to reach a band 8? Well, Mr. Herbert probably doesn't need a band 8. It depends what he needs. I think what he has shown is that he has the ability to get a higher task achievement score because he was able to develop main ideas that were relevant. But it seems like when he was developing the main ideas, he didn't keep the question in mind. And that's where the task achievement score came down. So if his explanations and examples were about, building more houses and why we would do it in the city, that would bring up the task achievement score, to 7 easily, to 8 potentially. Coherence and cohesion, That one sentence was an issue, and that was just a lack. I would say either he didn't have enough time to proofread it, or a momentary lapse in concentration. But the way he was talking about markets and then suddenly he was talking about states, that was confusing. The conclusion didn't have the main components that it required. But what we can see is that he was able to do it in the introduction. So it's not beyond his ability. So those things will improve quickly. The vocab and the grammar, I can't tell. I would need to see another essay from Herbert. But there will definitely be quick improvement in clarity. But will that mean there is enough accuracy and enough range for a 7? I can't say for sure. And then for grammar, I think grammar might take a bit longer to improve because there are just so many mistakes at the moment. But you're saying you're focusing on going from a band 6 to a band 8. I mean, I would never say to my students like, okay, you got a 6, you're going to get an 8 next time. You know, we're pushing up, edging up a little bit. It's like students on my course, you know, like a lot of my courses, half the course is giving you instruction on how to write the essays, so you know what you're trying to do. Half the course is giving you feedback like this to say, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you need to fix. And I'm not going to say, like, for instance, with Herbert, I didn't mention every grammar mistake he had. I said focus on plurals for now. So then, if Herbert was on my course, Herbert would go away, work on those things, come back, and then we would repeat the process, see which problems have been fixed, which problems have not been fixed, and that would just continue. So Herbert wouldn't go from a 6 to a 7. Herbert would go from a 6 to a 6.5 to a 7 to a 7.5 to an 8 if he needed a band 8. If he needed a 7, I would say, you know, go book the test when you are capable of a band 7. So I think I've answered your question, but probably not the answer that you were looking for. I can't say how much time. It would just depend on you know, Herbert's progress. But you're not going to jump from a 6 to an 8, you know, overnight. Herbert, I did. So this is about the plan. I did, sir, but it seems like I did not have an inept understanding of the question. I don't think that's true, Herbert. I don't think it's you didn't understand the question. I think it's that you forgot to focus on the question once you were finished your introduction. If you didn't understand the question, your introduction would not have been as good. So I don't think that's the case. Saeed, you're very welcome. No problem at all. Okay, so like I said, if you want an essay correction like that, I have the service on my website. You'll find the link there. I also have courses for IELTS writing and speaking, and includes reading and listening, but those aren't as complicated. And also last Sunday, I had a post to win a practice IELTS speaking test. So it was a post on various social media platforms. So before we finish up here, I want to choose the winner of that competition. I like to do it live because I think people get a bit, not everyone, but some people get a little bit disappointed when they don't win, and I like doing it live so that I don't have to explain. I think some people think that I want some people to win more than others. Like I don't mind who wins. I want it to be fair. I think when some people lose and I do it offline, they get a bit worried that I tampered. So that's why I want to do this. I want to do this here. So, all right. So this was the list of people who entered that competition. And if you entered, you should see your name on the list here. And let us find the winner. Okay, Rejoice. So I'll be in touch with you and we will arrange a time for that. So for everyone else, keep an eye out on Sunday. I'll have another post. If you're on Facebook, it'd be on my Facebook page. If you're on YouTube, it's on the community tab of my Facebook channel. So you'll see on, if you're on Facebook, it's on the Facebook page. If you're on YouTube, it's on the community tab of my YouTube channel. So go to my YouTube channel and click on community. You'll see it there on Sunday. So another competition for writing, for another essay correction. I'm posting a task 1 academic essay, a task 1 academic question this Sunday. I'll also have another post to enter the practice IELTS speaking test lucky draw. So we'll do that again on Sunday. So I think that's pretty much everything for now. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody want to say anything before we finish up here? That seems like a no. Okay, perfect. So have a good week. I will talk to you next time. If you want to get in touch, you can contact me at LAR, L-A-R, at completetestsuccess.com. So reach out if you need my support. Okay, take care of yourselves, everyone. Have a good weekend if I don't talk to you before then. Bye-bye.